It should concern every single American citizen how recklessly apathetic our current president is towards us service members dying in a war that he started. Last night, Donald Trump snapped at almost every single reporter on Air Force One, calling them fake news and saying they don't deserve to be on this plane. This happened simply because they were asking him about the service members who die, the economic cost, and the future of this Iranian war. This man does not know what is happening, and he clearly does not have a plan for the country. The 25th Amendment needs to be invoked right now because Section 4 allows the president to be removed when he is no longer serving the interest of the country due to being incapacitated. We are far past a simple mental break at this point. Donald Trump is frothing at the mouth and screaming at everyone while his physical health appears to be failing fast. Observers have pointed out that his hands and ankles are swollen to the size of a balloon. If you look closely at the photos from Air Force One, his left ankle is startlingly swollen, indicating serious health issues that are compounding his narcissistic behavior. Instead of taking care of himself, he spends every morning rubbing orange concealer on his face. The United States president is clearly struggling, yet he continues to lose his mind during this ongoing war. During the interview, Donald Trump straight up ignored a direct question about the 6 service members who recently passed away. When a reporter asked for a comment on their sacrifice, he simply looked away and asked who else wanted to ask a question. This is the commander-in-chief of our military, a 2-term president who cannot even give a basic answer about service members dying under his watch. His lack of empathy for our troops is truly heartbreaking. When ABC News asked why we are sending 5,000 more Marines and sailors to the Middle East, Trump snapped again, calling the reporter a very obnoxious person. He exhibits weird power dynamics, especially around women reporters, using his position to shut people up rather than answering the truth. He refuses to take accountability for the lives he is putting at risk. This behavior is exactly what you would expect from someone who only cares about power. Perhaps the most sickening part of this situation is how Trump's team is using the dead service members for fundraising. His PAC sent out an email to collect money from fans that included a photo of the dignified transfer of the fallen troops. He started this war recklessly and could not get out of it, and now he is trying to raise money over the dead bodies of the soldiers. When asked if this was appropriate, he claimed he did not even see the fundraising email. Trump's only defense is to claim that nobody has been better for the military than him. He tells everyone to look at his poll numbers, as if that excuses his attacks on the press and his failure to protect our troops. He repeatedly called ABC the most corrupt news organization on the planet right in front of their faces. This was the 4th time he attacked the media during a single interview on Air Force One, all while the country is actively engaged in a dangerous war. While the nation is at war, the president is going on long-winded and deranged meltdowns on his social media account in the middle of the night. He spends his time attacking judges, the Federal Reserve Chairman, and even his own Supreme Court. He claims that the courts treat him unfairly, and that every judge across the country suffers from Trump derangement syndrome. These late-night posts show a man who is increasingly disconnected from the reality of his office. What is uniquely concerning in this moment is that Trump cannot answer a straightforward question about military strategy. When asked for updates on ground troops in the Middle East, he told the reporter that he does not talk to people like her about such things. He acted as if it was an insult for a journalist to inform the American people about whether their sons and daughters are going to be put on the ground. He is hiding the reality of the war from everyone. Trump then had the gall to say that maybe we shouldn't even be in the Middle East at all. He claimed that the United States does not need to be there because we are already the #1 producer of oil. This is the exact opposite of the aggressive strategy he has been pushing for weeks. He is demanding that other countries come in and protect their own territory because that is where they get their energy. He wants the world to do the work that he started. The most dangerous part of this meltdown is how Trump is turning on our closest allies. He continues to attack the United Kingdom and other NATO members, claiming they are not pulling their weight. The problem is that these countries are hesitant to help because of how he has treated them over the past year. He has been patronizing and offensive to world leaders, and now he is surprised that nobody wants to work with him to keep the sea routes open for shipping. Last Saturday, Trump tweeted that we do not need the United Kingdom's help any longer, and that he would remember their lack of commitment. Now we are getting reports that a multinational naval coalition is failing because countries like Italy, Spain, and Japan have rejected the plan. France and Australia have also shown hesitation or outright rejection of his requests. America looks increasingly isolated on the world stage because of Trump's insanely offensive posts. On Air Force One, he looked into the camera and threatened our allies again by saying we will remember who helped and who didn't. He conveniently forgets that countries like Canada helped save lives after 9/11 and lost their own citizens fighting our wars. Trump bullied Canada relentlessly when he got into office, showing that he never truly remembers when an ally helps us. He only uses threats when he needs something and turns on them immediately after. He is now throwing a temper tantrum because NATO countries are not rushing to finish the war he started. He is trying to pervert the entire purpose of NATO, which is a defensive alliance meant to protect members from being attacked. Expecting NATO to proactively escort ships because of his own mistakes is a total misunderstanding of the treaty. He has pushed these allies away for years, and now he is whining because they are finally keeping their distance from him. The 25th Amendment is immediately necessary because this lunatic is driving us deeper into a conflict that is destroying our economy. Oil prices are going up and the stock market is going down because of his erratic decisions. The American people are suffering while he froths at the mouth on national television. We cannot afford to have a president who is this mentally unstable during a global crisis. It is time for the leadership to step in and take control. The instability in the White House is being felt across the globe as markets react to every single one of his late-night tweets. Investors are pulling out of international projects because they cannot predict what the president will do next. This level of uncertainty is toxic for the global economy and is leading us toward a massive recession. While families struggle to pay for basic necessities, Trump is focused on his personal grievances and attacking the media. In the Middle East, the lack of a clear strategy is emboldening our enemies and putting more lives at risk. Without the support of our traditional allies, the mission to keep the Strait of Hormuz open is becoming a suicide mission for our sailors. The military leadership is reportedly frustrated with the conflicting orders coming from the Oval Office. There is no clear end goal, no exit strategy, and no diplomatic path being pursued by this administration right now. The physical health of the president is also a major talking point in the halls of Congress. Doctors have raised concerns that the swelling in his ankles could be a sign of a much more serious underlying condition. If the commander-in-chief is physically unable to perform his duties, the 25th Amendment is the only legal way to ensure the safety of the nation. Yet his inner circle continues to hide the truth and protect him from any real medical scrutiny. Trump's behavior during the dignified transfer of the fallen soldiers was particularly disturbing to those in attendance. He reportedly looked around with darting eyes, wearing a baseball cap, as if he wanted to be anywhere else but there. The very next day, he was seen golfing in the same cap, showing a complete lack of respect for the families who just lost their loved ones. This is not the behavior of a man who understands the weight of his own office. The media attacks are also reaching a dangerous level, with the president inciting his followers against individual journalists. By calling major news organizations corrupt and fake, he is undermining the very foundation of our democracy. This is a classic tactic used by those who have something to hide and cannot face the truth of their own failures. He wants the American people to look away from the war and focus on his manufactured drama with the press. As the situation in the Persian Gulf worsens, the calls for a change in leadership are growing louder from both sides of the aisle. Even some of his staunchest supporters are starting to question his mental fitness to lead during a time of war. The isolation of the United States is a direct result of his failed diplomacy and his inability to maintain stable relationships. We are becoming a pariah nation because of one man's narcissistic and erratic behavior. The financial cost of this war is already reaching into the trillions, money that could have been used to help struggling American families. Instead, it is being spent on a conflict that many experts believe was entirely avoidable. The president's ego has become a national security threat that we can no longer ignore. Every day he remains in power is another day that the country is put at risk of a total collapse both economically and socially in the future. The 25th Amendment was created for exactly this type of situation, where a leader is no longer capable of carrying out the duties of the office. It is a safeguard for the American people to ensure that the country is always in stable hands. The evidence of his mental and physical decline is now undeniable to anyone who is paying attention. The leaders of our country must put their political ambitions aside and do what is right for the future of our nation. We are all suffering because of the decisions of a man who seems more interested in his bronzer than in the lives of our troops. The frothing at the mouth, the late-night meltdowns, and the physical swelling are all symptoms of a much larger problem. The United States needs a leader who is focused, empathetic, and mentally stable during these trying times. We cannot continue on this path of destruction without facing the reality of the situation in the White House. Thank you for following this urgent report on the current state of our leadership and the ongoing war. It is more important than ever to stay informed and to demand accountability from those who are in power. Please make sure to like and subscribe so we can continue to bring you these critical updates as the situation develops. We are fighting for the future of our country, and we are grateful to have you with us on this journey. Peace out and stay safe.